one cannot ignore the language used here by Luke to describe this reconnection. Notice what it says. He says, they returned, or they made their way to their own companions. They went to their own companions. Literally in the Greek, this says, they went to their own. Let that sink in. They went to their own. Please don't read it past those words. For this communicates to the believer the place and significance of the church to the follower of Christ. Let me ask you a question before we consider the language that Luke has used here. Who do you consider to be your own? Who do you consider to be, quote unquote, your own? Some of us choose to answer that question from a godless, secular worldview. Look at this text a little bit closer. Who were the disciples, who were the apostles leaving? Who were they leaving? They were leaving other Jews with whom they would have had an ethnic connection. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. They left their fellow Jews to go to their own. Now, someone might say to me, well, they're going to other Jews. Well, you're just making my point for me. What's going on here is that certain Jews were not their own, and certain Jews were their own. Right. In spite of the fact that they're all Jews. Oh, you're not following me today. What is it that made the Jews to whom they went their own, and the other Jews not their own? Why was that the case? Right. Jesus was the difference. Oh, you're not with me this morning. I have mentioned these truths many times, but it's so essential for us, like at no other time, I believe, because the church is more and more divided into ethnic groups and ethnic perspectives than any time in its history. Much of this, I believe, is because for an ever-increasing amount of Christians, the first dividing point of their lives is ethnicity, then political affiliation, and then after that, maybe Christianity. Listen, church. When Christianity is so far down the priority list, the points of division have already been established, making the unifying characteristics of Christianity an impossibility to experience. Right. The reason I struggle with belonging to any group or fully committing myself to any human affiliation is because Christianity and Christians are my first point of separation, not my last. Amen. This is where the separation begins for me. Listen. If you can wholeheartedly give yourself to a human organization or affiliation without questioning or separating from aspects of it, in all likelihood, you are probably compromising your Christianity in some fashion. That's right. Whether that's being black or white, being American or Canadian, Democrat or Republican, an Alpha or a Delta, a Phi or a Kappa, or belonging to your alma mater. If you're never in conflict, and if you never buck up against that community of people, if you never have a sense of being out of place in that group, if you never call for those within the group to turn to Christ, your Christian priorities are disordered and distorted and demand a reordering. Right. If you can be okay in that group and you buy into the whole thing, hook, line, and sinker, there's something going on in your Christianity. I'm sorry. Why are you in the group in the first place? Why are you in there? Because no Christian should be drawing their identity from these human, earthly affiliations. If you can define yourself by these groups in the same way that godless members of those groups define themselves, you are failing to grasp the Christian faith to which you claim to be submitted. Rather than drawing your identity from these groups, you should be living your true identity out in these groups and seeking to peel off its members one at a time, if need be, to the Christian faith. Amen. What's your true identity? Christ in you. The what? The hope of glory. I want my life defined by how the apostles defined theirs. My own. They went to their own. My own are first and foremost those who know Christ, and if you don't, I have an arm's length relationship with you at best. At best. Please remember the words of your apostle. 2 Corinthians 6:14-16. Do not be bound together with unbelievers. For what partnership have righteousness and lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? Or what harmony has Christ with Belial? Or what has a believer in common with an unbeliever? Or what agreement has the temple of God with idols? For we are the temple of the living God. Just as God said, I will dwell in them and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Dear saints, please don't forget to whom you belong. One translator of the Net Bible wrote this description of what's taking place in this text, and I quote, he writes, at the literary level, this phrase suggests how Jews, watch this, were now splitting into two camps, pro-Jesus and anti-Jesus, end quote. Two camps. My question for you this morning, what camp are you in? Right. What camp are you in? Are you in the pro-Jesus camp? Or are you in the anti-Jesus camp? Are your closest, dearest, and most frequented relationships found in the pro-Jesus group or the anti-Jesus group? Come on now. If flashing some hand signal makes that person your brother or sister, and a person being blood bought by Jesus does not, your understanding of Christianity is completely whack. So many Christians are training themselves and their families to identify themselves in the same manner as any old pagan identifies themselves. We're different. We're different. You want to know who my family is? What did Jesus say? Who was Jesus' family? His biological brothers and sisters? How about his mama? Was his mama his family? How about his fellow Jews? Were they his family? The dividing point for Jesus were those who by faith did the will of the Father. If that's you, you're in his family. If that's not you, you're not in his family. Jesus' dividing point was clear. Our dividing point is murky. We need to clear it up. Right. Luke says they went to their own. They went to their own. But they're all Jews. It don't matter that they're all Jews. They're all the same color. It don't matter they're all the same color. Some are your own and some are not, and the dividing point is Jesus Christ. I could literally preach a whole sermon on this, but I can't. I can't. Let's move on from here.